Good afternoon, my renegades. Welcome back to Rogue Radio. My name is Sarah Jane. Did you miss me? Probably not, because I have been uploading even while I was sick. But, yeah, this last week has been a doozy. The worst I have ever felt. But I'm back, I'm ready, and I'm very, very hyper at the moment for some reason. But, you know, let me tell you what happened. It all started with a sunburn. And I'm really pale, so I turn into a lobster whenever I sunburn. And then my skin just decided to revolt against me. And I ended up having problems with my skin, one thing after another. And then my husband was sick with a sinus infection, and it hit me really hard, to the point where when I, tried to go to sleep, it would be hard for me to sleep because it was that bad. My throat was swollen and cough attacks all the time. I couldn't do much and I hated it. And it lasted for a week. It was bad. And apparently in my hometown in Ohio, stuff like that has been happening. Like, people have been, it's been going around, so I ended up catching it, and good God, it was annoying. I'm the type of person that if I'm sick and I have plans, I'm gonna do my best to tough it out, and if I physically cannot do it, then I'll have to, draw a white flag and just be like, listen, nope, no more. I was working while I had that sinus infection as well, because I just don't like sitting down and resting, especially when I feel that way. But yeah, but I'm back, so let's just get into it. It's a Renegade Times segment. Let's go. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, as always, links will be down in the description below on how to contact me. Yes, do that. Say hi to me. I'm bored. Also, my good friend Bo Vincent is on Apple Podcasts with his podcast called The Conviction of a Leader. The trailer is out right now. I'm not sure when he'll update, but absolutely go check it out. I'm going to play the trailer for you right now. Hopefully he don't mind. Work.
The definition of conviction is a firmly held belief. Leadership looks different for each person, but every leader has strong convictions that pave the way for how they guide their people. Whether you're an experienced leader, a current leader, a novice leader, or a soon-to-be leader, this podcast is a must for you. Through this show, we will hear leaders share their convictions, the struggles they face, and the challenges they have overcome by staying true to their convictions. Leadership, it can be hard and it can be lonely. My goal is to connect you with leaders who have walked that journey and want to show others the way. This is Bo Vincent, and you're listening to The Conviction of a Leader.
So there you have it. The Conviction of a Leader will be out soon, hopefully. That's amazing. I'm so proud of him. He's gonna do great things on the podcast community. So I want to send everybody over there to love on him. So please go and do it. Please. Okay. before I get into this episode, I just want to talk real quick about something. It is going to be directed a little bit, or mostly, towards the LGBTQ because of the things that I've said before. I also just kind of want to direct it to people who may have gotten offended by my words in general. I'm a very passionate person. So when I talk about the toxicity of the world, I'm very passionate. And I speak against that passionately. And I know sometimes my passion gets mistaken for anger and hatred. And please don't think that I hate anybody at all in general, especially people in the LGBTQ community. There are toxic people in every community. The LGBTQ has toxic people. The Christian community, the churches have toxic people. The BLM movement has toxic people. And at the same time, there are good people in those communities and other communities that I haven't mentioned. And please don't think that I am not going to welcome someone who is part of the LGBTQ or who is transgender, bisexual, homosexual. Please don't think that I'm not here for you. Please don't think that I'm not here to love on you, because I am. Because of the content that I make, most of the time it's directed towards people who are toxic, who need to be called out. But any good person that has gotten offended by my words in any community, especially the LGBTQ community, I am very sorry. I am learning to love people every day, over and over and over again. Having the job that I do have, I learned to love people from every walk of life. And it's kind of hard when you have this one mindset to where, oh, this type of person I shouldn't be talking to. But when you sit down and talk to them, you realize that you don't know everything. And I definitely don't know everything. And I never will ever admit that I do. But I have talked to a few people from the LGBTQ community that have kind of enlightened me about, what people go through in that community. And it's not that I didn't know that people in the LGBT community have trauma, have traumatic pasts because of who they believe that they are and everything. It's the fact that I never really sat down and talked to somebody and had a deep conversation with someone that is completely different from me. And I just want to say I'm sorry to anybody in the LGBTQ that I have offended. And I'm saying this just in case, because I don't want to ever have anybody feel unloved or unwelcome on my channel or on my podcast community. I love you regardless of anything, any walk of life. I love my listeners, and the fact of the possibility of me hurting someone's feelings who have listened to me for so long, it hurts me too. And I just want to say, if you're part of the LGBTQ and you're a good person, I don't have any problem with you. I love you. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with you. If you're a toxic person from the LGBTQ, I don't want to have a conversation with you. Because most of the time when people are toxic, that toxicity seeps through the other person that is listening. And sometimes I guess I feel like I'm that toxic person. when it comes to my words, because I can be pretty harsh. And like I said, I'm very sorry if I offended anybody in general, mostly from the gay community. If I offended you in any way, I'm wholeheartedly sorry. I just have a lot of passion, and I've come out of a life where I have been silenced for so long in my life. And I'm not making excuses, this is the whole truth. I came from a family where I was seen and never heard. And even my passion was watered down by the people around me. And I don't want that to ever happen again. But that also doesn't give me the right to demonize people who don't deserve it. So if you felt demonized or offended or hurt by my words, I'm so sorry. I'm still finding my own way and my own way of speaking. I'm still trying to find my own voice. And in that process, if I do hurt you, please come and talk to me. If I offend you, please talk to me. Let me know. I am always open for correction. I am always open for a conversation that is new, that is different, in order for me to understand the person on the other side of the fence. I know most of the time, all of my episodes are just me talking. And I understand that can be pretty boring to have a one-sided conversation. But I just want to say, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to find my voice. So, I welcome anybody who is different. I do. I may have a different opinion, I may have a different view or belief, but Rogue Radio is a place where everybody can express their opinions, especially those who feel hurt by my words at all. So, I just wanted to say that before we got into it. I love people, despite how harsh my voice is. Alright, first things first. The Georgia Guidestones decided to blow up suddenly out of nowhere. I think it was like in the dead of night. I'm just saying, God probably did that. Because if you guys don't know what the Georgia Guidestones is or are, I don't know what the correct English term is with that. The Georgia Guidestones was a granite monument that stood in Elbert County, Georgia, in the United States from 1980 to 2022. It was 19 feet 3 inches tall and made from 6 granite slabs weighing a total of 237,746 pounds. The structure was sometimes referred to as an American Stonehenge. The creators of the monument wanted the monument to serve a guide for humanity afterward. Though initially garnering little controversy, they ultimately became the subject of conspiracy theories alleging a connection to Satanism. I should say so, Those deep core Satanists, they love to kill people. In the morning of July 6, 2022, the Guidestones were heavily damaged in a bombing and were later dismantled on the same day. Oh my god, somebody tried to bomb the monument. I thought for sure it just blew up, like it, how spontaneous combustion happens? Spontaneous explosion just happened. But me and my naive ass, someone actually bombed it. Someone actually took a bomb to that thing. Oh, you're my hero, whoever you are. Yeah, that's crazy. So, basically what the Guidestones say is it's a guide to population reduction. And they say about 500 million people should live on the earth and the rest of them should die in order to protect the balance of life. And I can't believe that it has been so... I can't believe it's been erect for so long without people actually retaliating until, like, now. Somebody retaliated. Never mind. It's been graffitied before. In 2008, the stones were defaced with polyurethane paint and graffiti with slogans such as "Death to the New World Order." Hell yeah, okay. Wired magazine called the defacement the first serious act of vandalism in the Guidestones history. So there were people that did react negatively to this. In September 2014, an employee of the Elbert County Maintenance Department contacted the Federal Bureau of Investigation when the stones were vandalized with graffiti including a phrase, "I am Isis, goddess of love." What the heck? After the acts of vandalism, security cameras were installed on the site. So, okay, if security cameras were installed on the site, I want to know who bombed it. I want to know who blew up the Guidestones. That's crazy. Candace Taylor, a candidate for the 2022 Georgia Republican gubernatorial primary. Is that a thing? When I hear gubernatorial, I hear I'm a goofy goober. Ignore me! I'm just goofy today. She claimed in a campaign ad that the Guidestones were satanic, and her campaign platform called for the monument to be removed. Yes, I would say that that is satanic, but the inscription says, a message consisting of a set of 10 guidelines or principles was engraved on the Georgia Guidestones in 8 different languages, one language on each face of the 4 large upright stones moving clockwise around the structure. From due north, these languages are English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, and Arabic, traditional Chinese, and Russian. The languages were chosen because they represented the most of humanity, while Hebrew was chosen because of its connections to Judaism and Christianity. Oh yeah, they slap Hebrew on it and call it Christian. That's nice. Stop doing that. This is wholly satanic. This is bad. Don't slap Hebrew language on it to make it look better. According to the monument's sponsors, the inscriptions were meant to guide humanity to conserve nature and after a nuclear war, which the creators thought was an imminent threat. The inscription read, "Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Number 2, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights and social duties. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Okay. So yeah. That's what that is. And I don't know. I kind of feel like those are just beautiful words that say Satanists, but I don't know. I don't really know much about the reason why the Guidestones were there. I do know, of course, what I just read. It's kind of a rule book, or a rule slab. Oh my god, it's the mock 10 commandments. Why did I just think of that? Somebody decided to just write their own 10 commandments. Listen, I wasn't even thinking that until I realized that there were 10 rules, and I was like, someone wrote their own 10 commandments and decided, hey, this is better than what Moses wrote. And so they decided, listen, stop doing that. That's awful. Okay, we're gonna go to the next story before I end up saying something that I regret. Anyway, let's go. Tell me why Boris Johnson kind of looks like the knockoff version of Steve Moffat, the fifth Doctor from Doctor Who. Like, tell me that he don't look like Stephen Moffat. Oh my goodness. The only difference is that Stephen Moffat's really great. And I don't know, Boris. I don't really know a lot about British government stuff, so I'm not really going to say much about Boris Johnson, because I don't know. But anyway, Great Britain's Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, will resign after scores of government ministers had quit and advised him to quit as well. Okay. On Wednesday, Johnson, the head of Great Britain's Conservative Party, Tory party, met with Chancellor Nadhim Zahawi, whom Johnson had appointed only on Tuesday after the predecessor, Rishi Sunak, had stepped down. Zahawi told Johnson that his situation was not sustainable. He was echoed by Education Secretary Michelle Donnellan, who also had been appointed in the previous 36 hours. 52 government ministers have resigned. What did y'all do? What did you guys do? Please tell me that there is a freaking explanation with this. A Downing Street source said Johnson has spoken to Sir Graham Brady, the chairman of the parliamentary group, the 1922 committee, and agreed to stand down with a new Conservative leader set to be in place by the party conference in October, the Daily Mail reported. Two possibilities exist. Johnson may stay in office until a new leader is chosen, or he may step down from the position. Speculation has arisen that former Prime Minister Theresa May could serve as a temporary replacement until a successor is chosen. Johnson's downfall was catalyzed by reports that he and his friends in government had held parties during the lockdowns imposed on the citizenry during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, I think Britain had it really bad with the lockdown because it lasted a whole lot longer than what America went through, and like the certain states that, the time frame, like with, me and Terrence, when we kind of went under quarantine in Ohio, we ended up staying in quarantine for maybe a few months. I can't remember how long, but it felt like a few months. And after that, we were still allowed to go and get what we needed and stuff like that, but we weren't allowed to socialize with other people and everything like that, and it sucked. But well after the quarantine was lifted in America, the UK was still going through it. Like, they were still going through so much, and I'm not condoning the Prime Minister's actions, but cabin fever sets in pretty quick. And, I don't know. I don't think he should have held parties, but I don't know. That one's terrible. St. Donnellan announced that she was quitting on Thursday morning. 2 hours earlier, Northern Ireland Secretary Brandon Lewis had made the same announcement, followed by Treasury Minister Helen Whately, who stated, There are only so many times you can apologize and move on." What's going on? I think I'm out of the loop. After I read this, I'm gonna try and find, like, the reason why all of these people are stepping down. But their resignations were followed by those of Security Minister Demain Hines, Science Minister George Freeman, and Pensions Minister Guy Opperman. Attorney General Suella Braverman urged Johnson to resign. If Johnson called for a dissolution of Parliament and new elections in the attempt to survive, Queen Elizabeth could refuse his request based on the Lascelles principles, which say she can refuse if Parliament is viable, and capable of doing its job. As a new election would be detrimental to the national economy, or if she can determine another prime minister who could govern for a reasonable period with a working majority. Conservative Party's senior members think all three of those prerequisites are met. Johnson, the former mayor of London and a champion of Brexit, came to power after he quit his May's foreign secretary in 2018. I said that wrong. He quit as May's foreign secretary. Let's see here. She had championed a third-day Brexit plan. They failed to succeed with her Brexit deal in Parliament 3 times, then resigned in July 2019. Johnson won a crushing victory in July 2019 to become the leader of the Tory party and subsequently the Prime Minister, although the Tories were in the minority. Johnson called for new elections, which were held on December 12, 2019, preaching Get Brexit Done. The Tories won 365 seats, the biggest Conservative majority since Margaret Thatcher's reign. During Johnson's reign, the nation's rollout of the COVID vaccine was one of the fastest in the world. By October 2021, over 40 million Brits, around 85% of adults, had received at least one dose of the COVID jab, the Daily Mail noted. I'm going to try and find out, because I have my laptop with me, so it kind of looks like there's been rumors spreading around about Boris, so let me find out what I can find out about that real quick. So I guess one of the scandals, just besides him throwing parties during quarantine, was an attempt to cover up by Johnson, who promoted his former aide Chris Pincher to a top legislative post despite sexual misconduct claims against him. He also decided to play stupid and say, "I didn't know about the accusations," and later walked that back. So that's interesting. So we got a wishy-washy Prime Minister, right? So apparently this Chris Pincher guy was accused of groping conservative counselor Daniel Cook. So yeah, that's interesting. Daniel Cook, deputy mayor at Tamworth Council in Staffordshire, where Mr. Pincher is an MP, said he lodged a complaint with the Conservative Party. So, also Daniel Cook has said, because I guess this happened twice, let's see, Mr. Cook had met Mr. Pincher when he had first started politics as a council candidate in Tamworth for 2004 elections, aged about 28. He campaigned with Mr. Pincher among others, and Mr. Cook said the parliamentary candidate had taken him under his wing. The councillor also told the news Pincher had been drunk on both occasions when he had been assaulted. Listen, this is what I believe. When you're drunk, your true feelings come out, because there's no way of hiding it. So this boy, Mr. Pincher, really likes to pinch booties. Listen, I know these are serious allegations, but oh my god, the things that people do, I don't know why, but it's just bad. So Mr. Cook said in 2005, while his wife had been at work, Mr. Pincher had come to his house with a council colleague and cupped his hand around my genitals and then asked if he had any good porn. Okay, he just grabs you by the balls and says, "You got any good porn?" I'm sorry. I don't know why I find that funny, but it's not funny. Men get assaulted too. He ends up doing it a second time. Comes around his home, Daniel Cook's home, cupped him again and grabbed him from behind, stinking drunk. Okay, bro. That's not okay. Cook said that he reacted time by laughing it off and pushing him away, but the second time had thrown him against a fridge and physically thrown him out of the house, watching him stagger down his drive. Okay, so he did defend himself, which is good. He said he felt angry about what had happened and had come forward after other allegations had been made. Mr. Cook added, if he had spoken out at the time, the matter could have been dealt with sooner. The thing is that when people are assaulted, men and women, they just, especially with men, I feel like they feel like this great shame upon their shoulders. Like, even if they're the victim, they feel like they did something wrong. And especially if a man is straight and has been assaulted with homosexual means, because a man don't grope another man without wanting something happening. All right. I don't think men would ever do that as a joke. At least not the men that I'm around. And it's just not okay. It's not okay. But I feel like a lot of men mentally, they will never talk about that. 1 in 6 men never talk about their rape or their molestation or their sexual assault by other men, because there's this great shame upon their shoulders. Like, what if people think that I'm gay? What if people think that I'm homosexual? What if people think that, you know, I wanted it and stuff like that? And that's what I feel like a lot of men ultimately think when they do come out and talk about this, because they don't want to be seen in a certain way. And I just feel like there's more shame for a man to be victimized by another man than anything, because it's just hard, because a man is supposed to be strong, and when they find themselves in that situation, it really weakens them. It hurts them. It hurts them. It hurts their soul, really. Anybody who's been victimized like this, it hurts their soul, and they don't want anyone to know. So that's one of the main reasons why people don't come forward after they've been sexually assaulted, is because they feel this great shame upon their shoulders, like they did something wrong, when in reality the suspect or the person who did that to them, of course, was the one that did, the wrong. So besides like the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown party things, I guess one of them was a luxury renovation of his official residence and the appointment of, the minister who decided to cup somebody's balls. But I don't understand the luxury renovation of his official residence. Does that just mean that he's been using money from the treasury in order to make up his home? I feel like a prime minister is really filthy rich, and he can do what he wants with that money. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. Like I said, I don't know British politics. So apparently the prime minister only gets like £30,000 or $41,000 a year. Let me go back and check. Yeah, in money a year. But apparently the renovations upon his flat were about £200,000 or $280,000. And so people are speculating that he used the money of his donors in order to pay for the renovations on his home. So that is pretty crooked. That's pretty crooked. And I'm sure there's more, but we're going to go on to the next story. Okay. This one is strange. Netflix cheer star Jerry Harris sentenced to 12 years for child pornography and other sexual misconduct charges. So, this isn't necessarily politics, but we're just gonna go with it. Most of the time I play it by ear with this this series of episodes. Former cheer star Jerry Harris, who gained notoriety on the Netflix reality show, was sentenced to 12 years in prison for coercing teenage boys to send sexual photos and videos of themselves soliciting sex from minors. Okay. Guess that's another pedophiles episode, but I'll give you the brief gist for now. District Judge Manish Shah handed down the sentencing, which included giving Harris 8 years of court-supervised release following the prison sentence. Shah told him that the punishment was an expression of the seriousness of your crimes, tempered with some hope that all is not lost for you or for your victims, and that in the future some healing can occur. Oh wow, she did you a favor, bro. I mean, yeah, 12 years is pretty solid. I mean, you're missing a big chunk of your life, which I actually condone. Pedophiles should be in jail for that long, and even longer. I'm tired of all of these celebrity pedophiles getting off with like 16 months or 6 months or even 2 months of jail time. Dude, she slammed you with 12 years and supervised, what was it? What did she say? Supervised release. That's awesome. Anyway, Harris pleaded guilty earlier this year to 1 count of receiving child pornography and 1 count of traveling with the intention to engage in illegal sex conduct. At the sentencing, Harris apologized to his victims and said that he is not an evil person. I am deeply sorry for the trauma my abuse has caused you. I pray deep down that your suffering comes to an end. The Cheer alum said, I am not an evil person. I am still learning who I am and what my purpose is. Listen, I don't know if this man has trauma in his life to where he was probably sexually abused by some male. You're trying to find who you are, trying to figure out what your purpose is, learning who you are. You should already know that pedophilia is a wrong thing to do. That's the problem. How many times in society have we heard pedophilia is wrong? You know what? Never mind. We got transgender professors, okay? Toxic person in the LGBTQ, okay? Who says that pedophile is a stigmatizing word. It's a triggering word. It's a bad word towards people who are attracted to minors. Like, listen, being attracted to a minor and soliciting pictures and wanting to have sex and having sex with a minor is abusive. Bottom line, point blank, period. All right? I don't know how many times I have to say that, but there it is. Harris was arrested in September 2020 for soliciting videos of images from a 14-year-old brothers. Please tell me that it wasn't his brother. Okay. The indictment said that Harris also admitted to requesting images on Snapchat from 10 to 15 boys he knew were minors. Yeah, Snapchat is a hub for pedophiles just because those pictures can be screenshotted and then those messages disappear. Federal prosecutors said Harris admitted to repeatedly asking a minor teen for pornographic videos and images between December 2018 and March 2020, per THR. Multiple incidents occurred across the country in Illinois, Florida, and Texas. Yo, you knew what you were doing. I'm sorry. You keep hopping from state to state thinking that they can't catch you. You knew what the heck you were doing. It's great that you apologized, and maybe, no, you were. That was an evil thing to do. You're an evil person. That's just me. That's just me saying that. I really do hope that he does recover from this, because I do believe that pedophilia is a mental illness. It is something that, is inflicted on by trauma. So I hope he does get better from this, because the judge gave him hope by giving him supervised release after 12 years of prison. That's crazy. I've never heard a judge say that. And that's actually pretty awesome. So hopefully he does learn from his lesson. But from his actions, though, hopping from state to state, soliciting pictures from these kids, I don't know. I'm not going to be that person and say that there is no hope for him, because I believe that as long as you have a pulse, there is hope for you. But I don't know, bro. That's a pretty fine line, a pretty deep one. Prior to the conviction, Harris was one of the most popular characters on Cheer, thanks to his encouraging, upbeat attitude and the support of his fellow cheerleaders during practices and competitions. The docuseries followed the Navarro College cheer team from Corsicana, Texas, as they competed on a national level. Fans were enamored by Harris's charm, that he was tapped into an interview celebrities on the red carpet at the Academy Awards, the Ellen DeGeneres show before the sexual misconduct charges were filed. Season 2 of Cheer continued without Harris's involvement because of the pending trial. Decider reported that documentary makers reached out to Harris to set up an interview while he was in prison awaiting sentencing, according to the Daily Wire, but he turned them down. That's crazy. Okay. This man steals cart full of Red Bull and Tide from Kroger after threatening manager with a gun. Can you imagine the conversation they had before he pulled out the gun? Jesus. Of course it would be in Ohio. Of course it would be in my home state. Goodness. Columbus, Ohio. Columbus police are looking for a man they say committed an aggravated robbery at a Kroger in the northwest side, taking a cart full of Red Bull and Tide. Why? What is the... I really want to know what was going through that man's head. Like, I need a big pack of Red Bull and some Tide Pods. What are you going to do? Make your own brand new internet challenge? Wash down a Tide Pod with a can of Red Bull. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. According to CPD, the man went to a Kroger in Georgesville Square Drive on July 2nd at 2:40 p.m. and filled a shopping cart full of Red Bull energy drinks and Tide laundry detergent. Wow. As he tried to push the cart out of the store, the manager spotted him and asked for his receipt. He ignored the question and walked into the parking lot looking for his ride, per police. Jesus. So he had accomplices. This man had accomplices for Tide Pods and Red Bull. The suspect left the cart unattended while the lot and a manager of the Kroger tried to get it back. Shortly after, the man pulled out a semi-automatic handgun and told the manager not to be stupid, per CPD. Surveillance image of a man Columbus police say stole the cart from a Red Bull and Tide from a Kroger on July 2nd, 2022 after threatening the manager with a gun. So yeah, he looks like he's in a hurry. The manager backed off and police say that the suspect then left the lot in a white Jeep SUV. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Columbus Police Robbery Squad 614-645-4665. Good God. That's interesting. I think it's time for a break. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, my renegades. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone and computer, and when hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download your Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's a lot of fun, so come join us. Oh, wow. Okay. I searched for weird news, and my goodness, did Google not disappoint. When a fire erupted on June 26th at the Church of St. Basil in Great Paraglovo, Russia, parishioners assumed it was faulty wiring and had sparked a blaze. Oddity Central reported. Damage to the outside was considerable, and some thought it was a divine message that they should build a bigger, more beautiful church. Okay. As it turns out, however, neither of the explanations was valid. Instead, a 36-year-old local man who was tired of his wife donating all their money to the church allegedly splashed the walls of the church with gasoline and, checking to make sure no one was inside, lit the match. He worked 24/7. They had 4 children, and his wife works at the church. Everything he earned, she brought to temple, a Russian newspaper reported. Because of this, they had a conflict. The man admitted his guilt, was allowed to await sentencing at home. Well, that's one way to quit, giving tithe. Oh my god. Speaking of churches, police in Nigeria recently released 77 people, including young children, from the basement of a church where they had been waiting for the second coming of Jesus Christ for several months. Good God. On the raid on the Whole Bible Believers Church in the Valentino area of Ondo Town came after a local mother approached police about the disappearance of her kids and told them that she suspected that they had gone to the church. Okay. When they entered the place of worship, policemen found 77 people being kept in the basement by the pastor and his deputy, who had told them that the second coming of Jesus Christ. Authorities claimed that the church encouraged people to stay behind and wait for the rapture, and some of them are believed to have lived in the church for several months. Wow. Is that the whole article? Let me see. Nope. This disturbing story began when the assistant pastor of Whole Bible Believers Church started telling parishioners that the Lord had told him Jesus' second coming would take place on April of 2022. We're still here. Just saying. According to investigators, some of the 26 children, some as young as 8 years old, 8 teenagers, and 43 adults have been living inside the church, awaiting the big day since August 2021, and the others since January 2022. Good God. When the second coming of Christ didn't occur in April, as prophesied, the leaders of the church simply changed the dates. That's what happens when you don't want to be wrong about things, right? You just change the dates. Oh, well, Jesus changed his mind. He's coming in June. But, alright. The leaders of the church simply changed the dates, claiming that the rapture had been postponed until September 2022. And instead calling them out as frauds, people stayed in, and new ones joined them. What the heck? Preliminary investigation revealed that the pastor, Pastor Josiah Peter Asumosa? Pastor Josiah Peter Asumosa, an assistant pastor in the church, was the one who told the members of the rapture and that it will take place in April, but later said that it has been changed to September 2022, and told the young members to obey only their parents in the Lord. Fun Milieo Odun Lamy, a police press officer, told journalists. Alright. The leaders of the Bible Believers Church have been detained, and investigators have yet to find proof of any of the people found in the basement of the religious establishment has been kept there against their will. Evidence shows that people just believed their religious leaders, and some of the kids wanted to be there to witness the second coming of Jesus. Okay. Now, here's something that I kind of want to talk about. In America, you know, the faith of Jesus Christ is very, very, I don't want to say dull, but it's not new for you to come across somebody that believes in Jesus Christ or has a basic belief in Jesus Christ, and be unenthusiastic about it. When it comes to people in different countries, though, especially when they hear the word of God for the first time and they never heard the word Jesus or never heard the name of Jesus, it gets people excited and it gets people wanting to believe in the miracles of Jesus Christ, which is fine. You can believe in the miracles of Jesus because they are real, but I feel like new believers, especially in different foreign countries, can be susceptible to being fooled because of pastors like this, because their faith is so new. And they believe in these pastors or in these elders that are supposed to lead them on the right path and everything. And this is why I just don't, even in Africa, even in Nigeria, people are having problems with pastors and churches, and I'm sure the pastors thought that this was actually going to happen. But the thing is that it says no one knows the day and the time of the coming of Christ. Not even, what is it? Not even Jesus knows. Or is it the Father? See, now I gotta find out. I think it says not even God knows. No. I am not an expert at the Bible, okay? I was right the first time. It says, but about the day or the hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. So only the Father knows when the coming of Christ will be. So everybody making up these crazy dates, you're not special. I'm sorry. When it comes to pastors and when it comes to self-proclaimed prophets saying that this is the doomsday, this is the apocalypse, this is the rapture, you know nothing. I'm sorry. I know you think you are probably doing good, but the thing is that the Bible states clearly that no one knows the day or the time, only the Father. But anyway, they hold services all around the clock, and people rarely sleep, and they held their vigils. A woman who lives nearby said, it was until Tuesday when a woman came saying that she did not release her two children. That's crazy. Alright. Okay. Next up is world news, and we're gonna do Iceland because I'm determined for that country to start listening to me. You shall listen, Iceland. They probably have better things to do, like going to the Blue Lagoon and drinking their very, very healthy water. And hiking. They don't have time to listen to silly old me. But I'm gonna try. Okay, I like lists, like the top 10 things to do and stuff. But this is 8 free things to do in Reykjavik, Iceland, if you ever want to go. And this is something that, you know, me and Terrence can do whenever we decide to go. But One of the best things about traveling to Iceland is that there are plenty of things to do in Reykjavik, which are totally free. This means that you'll be able to check out some amazing sights and attractions in the city that has to offer without having to pay anything at all. There are 8 free things to do in Reykjavik, Iceland, so if you're planning a trip there anytime soon, you can make sure that you're making the most of your time without having to empty your wallet first. So, let's see. The Old Harbor. Walking around Iceland's capital of the city of Reykjavik is like taking a trip back in time. The narrow streets, which were originally built by hand, and old wooden houses create a wonderfully quaint feeling that draws plenty of travelers who want to get away from it all. Start your visit in the colorful shops and cafes in Lagenver Street before continuing down the Old Harbor, where you can relax in a nearby cafe or take some great photos of Icelandic horses. Which the Icelandic horses are protected, that you're not allowed to take them. You're not allowed to buy them. I don't know. You're not allowed to just kind of import or export the Icelandic ponies because they're just so rare. But explore Langivur Street. Langivur is considered one of Reykjavik's main shopping areas. The street starts near Lekkjatorg. We're gonna say that, Lekkjatorg Square, and passes a Lemur bus terminal on its way up to, oh my god, that's a very long Icelandic word, Hallgrímskirkja. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? Even if I did say that wrong, I'm kind of proud of myself. That sounds Icelandic. Hallgrímskirkja Church. Let's see. It's lined with buildings from when it was originally a trading center in 1786 and has remained fairly unchanged ever since. Many small shops can be found along there as well, including 2 to 3 or 2/3 of the Iceland's record shops. Wait, what? Record shops is then record stores? Because that's my scene. Or are you just saying that, they're recorded shops? Either way, I would love to go and see. Number 3. Enjoy the view at Perlan. Perlan is a futuristic-looking glass dome that offers amazing views of both Reykjavik and its surrounding area. Go for a cup of coffee or enjoy a meal at any of its restaurants, and you'll have one of your best free things to do in Reykjavik. Visit Einar Johnson Museum. Okay. Einar Johnson Museum is located in Kappavogur. I love this. I'm trying. And houses of many famous sculptors' creations. It's free and open from the 10th hour to the 17th hour of Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday. So swing by on your way from work or during one of your excursions into the city. Keep an eye out for sculptures around the town too. A few examples are Arnar Johnson's bronze sculpture of mother and child outside of Hallgrímskirkja Church. Helge Thomson's cast bronze statue of John at Mount Asia? I don't know. And Tumi Stephenson's woman with skirt on Bredholt Road near the swimming pool. Okay. Alright. We have like 3 more to go, I think. 4. Let's keep counting. Take a hike at Hallgrímskirkja Church Tower. That's cool. Hang on. There are about 100 steps to climb up Hallgrímskirkja, the 7th tallest structure in Iceland. What's the first? I thought that was... Oh my god, I gotta find out now. But it's worth the panoramic view of Reykjavik and its highest point. There is a lift available if you can't manage all those stairs. I know I can't. For an extra fee, you can also access the observation deck that is situated at the top of the lift and offers a 360-degree view over the downtown Reykjavik and its surrounding areas. Number 6, walk through Jornin Lake. Walk along Jornin Lake. Okay. One of the best things to do in Reykjavik is walking along Jornin Lake. It is amazing to stroll along Jornin because it's centrally located. It's also easy for travelers staying downtown or at a guest house near the lake Thingvallaton, to which Jornin Lake is connected to reach. Okay. Stroll by cafes and shops in Langjöver Street while listening to people playing traditional Icelandic music. That actually sounds nice. I like that. So there's a lot of walking in Reykjavik, which I don't mind. I love that. Walking is an excellent way... Walking along the coastline is number 7, but excellent way to experience nature without having to invest much in time or money. If you visit Iceland, be sure to leave some time during your trip to walk along the beautiful coastline. Whether you drive north or south of Reykjavik, makes no difference from either direction. It's hard not to feel overwhelmed by the stunning views. Yeah, that's one thing that I love about Iceland, is that their the sights and the things that like all the attractions are so beautiful and unique. Let's see, go to a concert at Harpa Concert Hall. Harpa was designed by Icelandic artists and architect Olafur Eliasson and is located on, let me see if I can do this, Oskilo Hill. Okay. The fall. Dang it. I'm starting to hit the wall with the pronunciation, as you can tell. But the hall features a concert hall for both classical and contemporary music, as well as exhibitions. If you love music or are just looking for some things to do in Reykjavik without breaking your bank account, then make sure you take advantage of the Harpa Concert Hall. Yeah, that's another thing. Iceland, spending money in Iceland is very expensive. It's an expensive place because there's a lot of tourism. So, we're gonna do Norway next, and I finally figured out how to say I love you in Norwegian for all of my Norwegian listeners. Jeg elsker deg, or jeg elsker deg. And yeah, I'm proud of myself for that because I like my pronunciation. Hopefully I'm okay with the pronunciation. But I love you guys. You guys are dedicated listeners, and I love you so much for that. Norway has gone through a lot lately, I have noticed. I had to go through at least 3 stories that I was able to read, because the first 2 weren't something that I could read because they were subscriber only. I do know that Norway is going through an oil strike right now, and I'm very, very sorry for that. And I also know that the Marine Corps, the U.S. Marine Corps, is deploying into Norway in order to help with what are they called? The vehicles and stuff like that. They're over there to service Norway in order to kind of like keep up the treaty of the NATO thing. So, you know, the one thing I wanted to kind of talk about, since this is something that I have never actually heard of in Norway, because I know Norway is one of the most happiest countries in the world. I know it's topped the list at least once, but Norway mass shooting leaves 2 dead, several injured, prior LGBTQ pride parade. 2 men in their 50s and 60s were killed, 10 people were treated for serious injuries, and 11 others suffered minor injuries, police said. A gunman opened fire on the Norwegian capital of Oslo's nightlife district early Saturday morning, killing 2 people, injuring 21 others on the day the city was to celebrate its annual LGBTQ pride parade. A 42-year-old Norwegian citizen of Iranian origin was arrested in connection to the shooting, which targeted multiple nightclubs, investigators said in a news conference. The alleged suspect is believed to be radicalized Islamist with a history of mental illness, who had been known to intelligence services since 2015, according to the Norwegian police. Let's see. Acting Norwegian Security Service Chief Roger Berg called the shootings an extreme Islamist terror attack, adding that the suspect had long history of violence and threats. 2 men, one in their 50s and the other in his 60s, died in the shootings. 10 people were treated with serious injuries, but none of them was believed to be life-threatening in condition. 11 others had minor injuries. Berg said that the 42-year-old man was taken into custody shortly after the shooting at the London pub, a nightclub and a bar popular with the city's LGBTQ community and the streets surrounding it. Authorities in the Scandinavian country raised the terror alert to the highest level. Oh my god. Its National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, said in a statement that the United States has been in touch with the Norwegian government and offered to provide assistance. The horrific shooting in Norway this morning has been felt around the world. The United States strongly condemns this act of terror, Sullivan said. We stand in solidarity for the families and victims in the diverse and strong LGBTQIA+ community of Oslo, our close NATO ally, Norway, and all who have been devastated by the senseless act. Police attorney Christian Halto said that the suspect was being held on suspicion of murder, attempted murder, and terrorism based on the number of people targeted at multiple locations. The suspect's mental health was also under investigation. Our overall assessment is that there are grounds to believe that he wanted to cause grave fear in the population, Halto said on Saturday. Okay, I've talked about Finland a lot, so we're gonna go to Sweden. So, Sweden news today. So, along with Norway, Sweden has also been going through a loss. Swedish political festival murder suspect acted alone, prosecutor says. So, we're gonna talk about that real quick. Hang on. Stockholm, July 7th. So this happened, what, yesterday? I want to say. Yep, this happened yesterday. Today, a man held on suspicion of killing a woman at the political festival today appears to have acted alone and to have targeted her. Okay. The woman was stabbed to death on the island of Gotland at the political festival being held just over 2 months before the national election. There is information that he suffers from mental illness and that he has committed the act while under the influence of drugs, prosecutor Petra Gottel told a news conference. Our view is that the deceased woman was the perpetrator's intended target and that it may be due to her public profile and her lengthy involvement in psychiatry matters in Sweden, Gottel said. Okay. And that's the whole article? Are you kidding me? Well, I really hope that the family of the woman, I hope that you guys have a good amount of time to mourn, because I know that mourning is inevitable when it comes to when losing someone. So I hope that everyone lets you mourn and grieve properly, and my prayers are with you. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the trenches next time. Bye-bye.